NatureScot is a peatland action partner and is restoring peatlands to help fight climate change. We are at Flanders Moss National Nature Reserve in the Castle Forth, near Stirling, Scotland. Lowland raised bogs have their origins in shallow former glacial lakes and wet hollows. Over millennia, the accumulation of undecayed vegetation forms peat, elevating the bog surface to form a gently curving dome. Flanders Moss is a typical lowland raised bog and is one of the largest remaining intact raised bogs in Britain, thanks to restoration and positive management of the site. Peatland restoration is also helping to address biodiversity loss. Artificial drains cut through the peat, and the invasion of non-native trees lowers the water table, drying out the carbon-rich peat beneath the surface, intensifying carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere. As the bog dries, the vegetation structure changes and active peat-forming plant species, particularly the principal bog builder, sphagnum moss, are replaced by more shrubby species, and the bog starts to lose its ecological function. A bund is a barrier designed to hold water within the bog. Bunds are typically constructed along contour lines at the edge of the bogs where leakage through subsurface cracks occur. Creating cells of bunds throughout the bog can also hold surface water on large, drier areas. At the edge of the bog, the surface vegetation is carefully removed in consecutive linear strips. The peat is removed to form a trench. The deep, dark, wet peat at the bottom of the trench is used to build up a watertight barrier. The peat is continually compressed with the back of the digger bucket to ensure a watertight seal is maintained. At Flanders Moss, the bund was keyed into the underlying glacial clay, and where possible the clay was used to build the bund to prevent leakage off the bog. The vegetation is carefully replaced on top of the bund and compressed to avoid leaving any bare peat. The height of the bund will depend on the slope of the bog, but usually they are 40 centimetres or less. The process is continued along the contour of the bog to create an extended bund. So the bunding I'm standing on demonstrates the effect it has. It raises the water tables and reduces the amount of tree regeneration. If you look on the other side of this bund, where the soil is and the peat is drier, there's much more tree regeneration. And this demonstrates the effect of the bund. This is wetter ground on the bog side of the bund, and it's developing nicely into pools and into which sphagnum moss is developing, which is the principal bog building moss. Appropriate use of bunding on lowland raised bogs has many benefits. The overall aim of bunding is to block subsurface cracks that leak water off the bog and raise and maintain the water table as close as possible to the surface, contributing to tackling climate change by reducing carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere, improving water quality in downstream waterways by reducing erosion of peat, increasing biodiversity by creating wetter areas for both plants and animals such as sundews and dragonflies, encouraging the growth of active peat-forming plant species, particularly the principal bog builder sphagnum moss,